A Tennessee residential purchase agreement is an essential document when buying or selling a home. Legally binding once signed by the buyer and seller, the agreement details the terms and conditions of the transaction, such as the purchase price, financing, expiration date, and more. In this video, we'll cover how a residential purchase agreement works, the legal requirements in Tennessee, and what you'll need to create one. We're eForms, the biggest online database for legal documents. Stick around and we'll tell you where you can find an official residential purchase agreement specific to Tennessee. First, let's review how a residential purchase agreement exactly works. The residential purchase agreement initially acts as a written offer from a prospective buyer to the seller of a house. It states how much the buyer is willing to pay for it, how it will be financed, what contingencies must be met before closing the deal, and more. It may take some negotiation between the buyer and the seller to agree on all parts of the contract. Once an agreement is met, both parties sign the document, making it legally bound. This means that the agreement can only be terminated if both parties agree to it, or if a contractual contingency or a legal requirement is not met. So, what are the legal requirements in Tennessee? Prior to signing the agreement, the seller is legally obligated to provide a property disclosure report detailing all known material conditions on the property. However, Tennessee law allows buyers to waive this right and purchase the property as is. If this is the case, the seller must provide a disclaimer statement to the buyer. Under federal law, the seller must disclose the property's history of lead-based paint exposure if it was built before 1978. Now that we know more about how a residential purchase agreement works and what is legally required, here are some things that you should do to make sure the process goes soundly. Include a mortgage pre-approval letter. A mortgage pre-approval letter is a document from the bank estimating how much it is willing to lend to the buyer based on their credit history, income, debts, and assets. This helps the seller determine whether the buyer is financially credible. Offer an earnest money deposit. An earnest money deposit is a percentage of the offer and provided to the seller as a show of good faith. It is written into the residential purchase agreement and typically delivered when the agreement is signed. Use an addendum to modify or add to the agreement. An addendum is often included with a residential purchase agreement to add to or amend any terms and conditions. It can also detail a contingency which allows either party to opt out of the contract if certain terms are not met. If you're in need of an official Tennessee residential purchase agreement, you can get started by clicking the link right here. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos that help simplify the legal process for everything ranging from buying or selling a house to making a will.